Hello, today I am doing a video about manifesting. Um, as this continues, it's my healing journey at this point that I'm podcasting on, with some astrology and definitely my symbology and tarot. And I want to talk about manifesting as it is something that is beautiful and anyone and everyone can do at any time, just because you decide to do it. Now, we had a need for manifestation in this sense because my body is so ill. And so trying to figure out where we can go, how to call out, how to hear, what vibration is going to bring me to a place of some resolution and healing. So for us, we ended up in Hawaii, which is actually Hawaii, and we ended up on the Big Island. And furthermore, we were staying in a home on the Big Island in a location where what I learned is that not all things are restful in Hawaii or Hawaii. And what am I saying? Well, as a tourist, you come, you stay a week or 2 weeks, and you have a wonderful time, and it all is very magical. But there is definitely an underside to all of it, and that is that there is some theft in the way some people operate their housing situations. And then there are other circumstances that are divine and beautiful. And because I'm into the manifestation of the divine, something that doesn't align with that, I'm not going to necessarily be comfortable. And that's precisely what took place. I wasn't comfortable. So my husband and I had a doctor's appointment over on another area of the island, and we were able to then discuss some things about spirituality, manifesting, and moving forward. And he brought to my attention this location that I'm currently in. And Hawaii, or Hawaii, I'm going to learn to say that correctly, is a magical place in so many ways. And largely it is the wildness of it. It's the tropical, it's the banana leaves, it's the coconut trees, it's the vegetation. And so in my mind, there's no more room for hotels, for sure. There's no more room for that. We don't need any of that. And so, there's that. But this is about manifesting. So my husband and I are driving around the island, and we're taking it all in. And we have driven the entire island now. And we were up watching a sunset up on the volcano. And the volcano gave us this cross, the way the sun was shining through, which I posted on my Facebook. That was that day that we had a conversation about manifesting, and we both said to each other what it is we want in our new location. Where do we want to move to? Why do we want to move there? What do we need to do to move there? Or do we just say that this is what I want, need, and think I'm asking for, and then let go and let the universe. So that is how we did it. We just said, okay, yeah, I want all of those things, and it's not at all clear to me how that is even possible that I could get what I want, but those are the things I want. And so we both agreed. We had some things on the list we wanted, and we spoke them out loud. And I think that's important, to speak them, write them down, make them clear, be clear to yourself. So at any rate, we didn't write them down, but we spoke them out loud, and we were both very clear what we wanted as a team, which that's where you want to go. So we decide together what we need to do and what it needs to look like. And another day goes by, and I look over at him in the car one day, and like a day or so, and I say to him, you know, Mike, I don't know what it is, but I feel as if whatever our housing situation is, it's about to be complete. We're going to have the information that we are looking for. And if you're seeing skydivers in the background, you are seeing skydivers in the background. I hope that my video is catching it. I can't tell, but I'm in a skydiving location. How beautiful is that? But at any rate, we basically had this conversation about, yes, I feel peace too. I'm at peace that something is going to come forward for us that's going to be right for our circumstances. And in my particular case, where I am having, you know, physical and really spiritual, you know, I'm transforming right before my eyes to somebody that, you know, I'm wondering if I'm not a person that shouldn't be just living in a banana tree and swinging off the trees or something, you know, because I'm fairly wild in some ways, you know, I'm not tameable either, so there's that. And anyway, so there's all that. But we needed a place to go, a place that would allow me to, one, get back and focus on my schooling because, well, I'm ready to finish my last set of packets, which finishes up my first year. And additionally, I want to continue on and continue my program. Well, that sounds crazy for somebody who's been just told, you know, that, well, maybe things aren't going to work out so well for you, you know. Well, you know, but that's really, isn't that for me to decide in every possible way, even if I sort of believe it? Of course it is. Of course it is. So, with that, we ended up coming home after agreeing that yes, something feels different. This feels divinely guided and it feels manifestingly right. So I get home and there is an ad that just strikes my eyeballs. It's the place I want to be, and somehow it's also something I've seen in my dreams in some way. And I don't want to say too much about that because I think it's going to be, there needs to be privacy and dignity to people that are involved in this. But at any rate, I sent this person a note and I said, in very straightforward terms, that I believe that when we meet, we will know. And I would like to meet you as soon as possible. And she wrote me back and said, let's set it up right away. So this just gives me chills as I say it because it just does. And we meet with her as we said we would. I get there. She and I break bread. And, well, it's history from there. We went back to the place we were staying, and I did my last couple of days there that I could stand, and on the 1st of April, April Fools, which I've decided isn't a foolish day at all, because 1 and 4 equal 5, the divine. They teach us to fear our divineness. That's the day that the change was made. And here I am today. I'm just down the street from where I live for the most part. And I have skydivers coming in on the back side of me. And the ocean. And this beautiful place in Hawaii. So, I want to talk about the manifestations. To me, I think I'm not going to do a chart. I was going to do a chart, but it just doesn't, somehow for me today doesn't fit the storyline at all because, well, although I see it in the stars, why for me the attraction is so heavy, it's still developing. So I'm going to just put that aside. I am going to, instead, I am going to throw a 5-card spread, and we're just going to ask the divine to help us understand manifestations. Why manifest? Manifesting. What is it? It's a process. It's a process of acknowledging something that you want or need. It's a process of being clear with yourself and those around you. It's a process of, in my husband's, in my case, of, as partners, saying before God and ourselves what it is we want and need from life. So with that, let's just ask the cards, and we are going to use the Tarot-scape. No, Shadowscape. Oh my goodness, I knew that didn't sound right to me. Shadowscape Tarot. You know, being sick is it really is hard on the brain in some ways, because your memory kind of just is not the same with cancer. It just isn't. But you know what? It's never done to you. It's always done for you. And if this brings me to divine grace and awareness. Okay, so I'm getting ready to do the cards for the divine order, and I have shuffled, but let's see, I'm going to shuffle. I have an order in which I do things. I shuffle 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. And I spread. Okay, and I am going to just do a really tiny little pull. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're asking about manifesting in the divine order of things, and I think that, you know, there's so many things I want to talk about right now that are going on with me personally, but it's not quite right yet. And I'm going to cut 3 times. And why in multiples of 3? Well, 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9. Its numbers are divine. 2. Okay, and we're going to do one more cut. And my reading, I pull 5 cards, and the bottom card is my foundation, so it's a 6-card read. Okay, and it's a Knight of Swords. You know that by divine order, what goes on above, so goes on below. That basically, you know, you want to have what you want to have, but understand that you're a part of a collective, and that to ask in a way that remembers that as a part of manifesting, that manifestation isn't just for you. And as I'm studying, one of the areas that I'm highly interested in right now is developing the many senses that we were told we didn't have. Our 6th sense in particular is one I'm very interested in at this time, for a lot of very good reasons. So at any rate, you know, basically it's our thoughts. It's how we think is how we can manifest. So if you believe in magic, magic is possible. If you ask for the divine to come forward and assist you in life, it can happen. I don't care how far down the trail you think you are. It doesn't matter. It's up to you to call out and ask for what you need in life. So that is our foundation. Okay. Ha, lovely. Life is the web you weave. Okay. And not every thread is going to bring a beautiful result. Not every intertwining is going to be successful. But is that in itself unsuccessful? Why, no, it isn't, because in the collective sense, there is still a weaving, is there not? So, this card, the Wheel of Fortune. Basically, life is what you ask for, what you make it. Take a chance. Make a choice. It'll equal change. Change that is divine by its order. A 10 of Cups. In the relationship sense, that's a merging. It's a completeness, and yet it's emerging into the new. So, yes, by the divine order, we're meant to reach out to our higher-ups, to our higher selves. And where did this journey begin for me? Well, I really don't know. At some point I started thinking that, maybe I do have a higher self. Maybe I am a reincarnated being. Maybe there's a lot more to me than I thought. So, maybe it developed over time. But we all have it. And I came from a background where I'm lucky to be alive today because my childhood was grueling to the point that I'm sick and here today trying to sort that out. So that, and I understand that. I understand why my body's so ill. I don't blame anyone. There's nobody to blame. Injured people injure people. And by the divine order, I was meant to come to this planet in some regards as a child that wasn't exactly asked for. And everywhere I go, there's a little bit of a wave that goes with me. I'm a little bit of a wild hare. And good gracious, I belong here in the jungle. Yes, I do. It's by divine order. It is the higher-ups. We think of the Hierophant as the government that we have, or the Pope of the Church. But what if it's the guardian angel, Angel Michael, or 1-800 your higher self? That's possible, It's very possible. I believe that we're all a part of the great I am. And I'm ready to say that I'm in abundance and grateful for what I have and how I have it, and for how difficult it was to attain. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm okay. No matter what happens to me, I'm okay. Which leads to something new. New relationships. A new way of toasting. I get to come to you via YouTube and share my story. And all of its good, bad, and ugly. Which, how beautiful is that? I'm grateful. I'm abundantly grateful. And by the divine order, it is meant to be for all of us that we come to the table and toast cups and look at our relationships with each other. We are in the Aquarian age. And yes, I'm an astrology student. I have one more year to go. And basically, what does the Aquarian age exactly mean to this reading in the divine? Well, I think it means that if you choose to see it as a process that you want to be involved in, it is simply a matter of opening yourself up to it. There is nothing more to it. You don't have to go to somebody. You don't have to pay someone for it. There's a lot of help available online. I post daily a Gaia reading every single day because I feel that we all need the help. And there's a lot of people like me. They're doing exactly the same thing I'm doing. So if you feel you need others to reach out to, again, it doesn't have to cost. If you can't do it, don't. I encourage you not to. Watch your pennies. Be mindful. We are in some tough times, and all of us need to think before we leap when it comes to our wallet. But with that, please do hit the like, share, and subscribe on my podcast. And if so inclined, please go to www.twiggie.com, where myself and my lovely co-reader Pearl Rowland are available, and we do astrology, tarot, ceromancy, and divine guidance. Shoot us a note. If you feel you need something, it's not we're available, yes, as a service, that is for sure. But if there's something that's brief and simple and it's directional and results in some kind of help, we're interested. And with that, I thank you for joining me here today.